Alright, so I have an interesting video today. I really want to see if I can plant some things today, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to. I already took 2 of my exams today out of the only other 2 I had left, so that's cool. We got them all finished today. So I'm going to be giving you a garden tour today, and at the end, if I have time, I might be able to begin planting some things. I'll show you what's been going on in the garden, some updates, what to expect for the rest of the summer, because summer break starts for me in just 2 days. I know most of you guys that are still in school usually end in like May, but we're different up here in the Northeast. We end in like June. There's one year where we ended on June 20th, so that was cool. Starting out down here, we still do have a garden down here, except here's the thing. These are plants that we planted back in May. These are plants that are going to be going in the garden probably like right before my birthday. I will have in a PSA real quick that we are trying to reach 4K by July. I'll always put these in these videos. We're still trying to do that though. And if you guys didn't already see the short, I have an interesting video coming out soon. If you didn't see the community post. So what do we have in here? We have some tomatoes, as you can see here. Perfectly clear, looking nice. Hopefully gonna see some soon. We have basil right there. That's gonna be our basil soon. And right here, we do have some green beans. I do need to plant them though. As you can see, these are looking like they're ready for harvest. I could probably actually harvest that. It looks like this tomato has been snapped or clean off. Do you see that right there? No one actually did that. It's just like some tomatoes just are less fit for survival than others. Over here we have some of them are bent, they need some support. And then right over here we have some strawberries. Now right here I think we're going to end up selling these because, as you'll see in just a minute, we don't really have a whole lot of room in the actual garden for the strawberries. So let's go to the garden real quick and see what's up there. Alright, so first of all, we actually did end up changing the locks to the garden to keep our chickens out. But they still keep trying to get in through the fence, which is really stupid. Because when they get in, they don't know how to get out. So they explore the garden a little bit. And then once they find that they're stuck in there, they don't know what to do. So they just kind of like stay in there as long as they can. Yes, this door does need a little bit more innovation. It's just a cinder block and 2 green pieces of, I forgot what those are called. 2 green posts. I know it needs a little bit more innovation, but at least it gets the job done. It keeps the chickens out of the garden. And here we go. We're into the garden now. Take a look at what we have over here. There's some strawberries, some of which are probably actually ready for harvest. Probably by the end of this video, or maybe even by tomorrow. We haven't quite yet gotten into a harvest just yet. Let's check out what we have. These are our newly planted strawberries. And as you can see, just a couple of them died. And this one, I see a flower there. I don't know if I have to rip those off or not. I'll have to do a little bit of research and insights on that. Some of them aren't looking too healthy. Others, though, are looking nice and healthy. There's a couple in here that didn't survive that we could probably transplant from the greenhouse down there into here. This is the normal row that isn't started on weed blocker. Right over here we have just normal strawberries in here, as you can see, throughout this entirety of the row. Same with here. For these 3 rows right here, we have just normal strawberries in here. Now we move on to over here. We have some weeds right here that I could just do that and they're gone. We also set up the fence over here, as you can see, so chickens can't fly over it or go under it. Now we have some blueberries here that are looking pretty nice, as you can see here. Keep in mind, some of my family who lives out in Fallsburg has a garden out there. You might see it sometimes in my videos this summer. And they have a nice 15-year-old plant of blueberries. 15 years old blueberries that are still producing blueberries daily during the summer. I did a ton of harvest last summer. I'll do some this summer and record some of it for you guys. We do have 2 baby blueberry plants here. If you're wondering, these are from 2021, not 2022. If it was from 2022, then I wouldn't have got that 1 blueberry that year. Last year we got 7, which was 2023. And this year our goal is like 7D. Because out in Fallsburg, they're in the same growing zone as us, but yet they got way more harvest than us in just like 3 years. So let's see what happens. So starting on the garden over here, we have peppers. These have all been transplanted in here as of recent. So you can see, there is some of them that are much younger than others over here. We have some peppers right down here. Oh, my rooster won't ever shut up because we're doing some renovations on the upstairs of our house, and some things have to be tossed out of the window. So my rooster thinks that it's something else that could be potentially threatening, but it really isn't. So as you can see here, we do have some things in here. Let's take a look. We have some flowers coming in here, and as you can see, we have some peppers coming in here too. Right down here we have just normal peppers. My guess will probably get harvest by around maybe 4th of July. Also, quick little thing, I'm going to be going away to for a quick little trip out to Fallsburg for like 4 days right around my birthday. I'm going to spend my birthday out there this year. It's nothing to document. I'll just be scheduling videos. I'll tell you when it's going to happen as we get closer to the date, because nothing has been 100% set in stone just yet. But I'll tell you a bit more once we get there, and I'll tell you what to expect when we get there. Let's get to the tomatoes. So right down here we have all of our tomatoes, and we have a lot to unpack here. We have Romas and beefsteaks and 4th of Julys, and I think another variety somewhere in here too. Mainly Romas, because the Romas are the ones that are most useful. Because in the summer, the depth of summer, like July, we'll usually take out some of the Romas when we're doing harvest, and we'll put them in a blender, not like a specific tomato blender, and turn it into some nice tomato sauce, which not only can I use on my pasta, but also when I'm also cooking up some pizza in the kitchen, I can use it too. It's really useful. It tastes really nice, and you can also make a ton of nice recipes with it. Taking a look right now at what we have for tomatoes, not too bad. We have some flowers coming in here. When we transplanted them the day after, they looked really sad, but I think they came up really well. Keep in mind, for like the first 3 weeks after you transplant them, you really need to water them good just about every day, or else they'll kind of just die as they proceed into life. You can see this one had a little bit of a snap up here. We had a little bit of some severe thunderstorms the other day. We had a lot of wind. Some things did snap. We'll get to the trellis in just a minute. But real quick, let me show you what all we have over here on this row, and then I'll show you some stuff that's beginning to bloom in the area right down there. This one, that's the snapped one, and not the blueberries. We're blooming right over here though. These are sunflowers, all right. A couple of them in each row. See this right there? Sunflowers. I planted them in the transplanting video, which I dropped a couple weeks ago. Also, by the way, if you're wondering what peak harvesting season is around here, for most people it's like July. Here in the Northeast, it's technically July, but I personally find mid-August is the best time for harvest. Let's get to the trellis. Now, the trellis still needs about maybe another week to bounce back, and that's fine. We're going to let it grow and let it bounce back when it wants to bounce back. But we do have some harvestable cucumbers in here, like right here, and it's growing up and down this trellis right over here. We have some cherry tomatoes right here, and this one, I'm going to be completely honest with you, it's literally just a stem of a tomato we just put in the ground to see what happens. A little social experiment, except it's not social. And this one right here is a baby tomato we took out of the kitchen, which was growing extraordinarily fast. So we decided to put it into the garden. As for the cucumbers, there are not many of them, but this one is showing some nice signs of maturing right there. The rest of them, as you see on this trellis, are also showing some nice signs of flowering. I say in terms of length, the actual vines are probably about maybe 4 feet long if they were stretched out. But because they grow sideways like this, they're about maybe 3 feet diagonal. Let's get to the rest of the garden. Now, by the end of this video, my goal is to plant some gourds. Now, I'll show you what's going to happen right over here, but let's take a look at what we have right now over here. Eggplants right down this row. There's some of them that have died, like that one and that one. But the rest of these, though, they're coming up pretty nicely. As you can see, there's a good amount of them in here. Sadly, some of them do have these holes from, I'm pretty sure, the flea beetles. They are really annoying, and I'll have to find a way to get rid of them this summer. Right over here, we do have some zucchini, though. As you can see, we have tons of zucchini coming in over here. I'm going to see if I can plant another one right there. I also want to see what's going to happen there. And then right in here, we have a hole that we forgot to put something into. Probably plant another zucchini in there. And right over here, we'll have gourds planted all up and down this row right here. This row. And this row right here. This row right here will have gourds in it. But what will this middle row have? Last year they were gourds. What about this year? Well, this middle row right here will not be gourds. Rather, it'll be watermelon. We currently have them growing in a paper towel inside. We'll probably transplant them out here in maybe another week or two. Right over here is where I'm going to be planting some things. We'll have green beans all up and down this first row, and we'll have peas down the second row. And I'll see what other miscellaneous flowers or plants I could put right here. Maybe some more peppers, maybe some more tomatoes. You never know what could end up happening. And also right up here we have raised bed. You might be wondering, like, this is a pretty big garden. Like, I think it's about 1/4 of an acre. Why do you have a raised bed in it? Well, for a quite simple reason. This is where we're going to put the carrots and the lettuce and the cabbage. I honestly want to see if it grows way better in this right here, because every time we plant them, it's almost always a big failure. Like every time we plant them in there, it just kind of just never sprouts, or when it does sprout, it just dies really quickly. The carrots are very depressing. So I want to see if they grow better in a raised bed space rather than just plant them right into the ground. It'd be cool to see what ends up happening, which the goal is to raise them into here soon, but the seeds are microscopic, so we're gonna have to use extra precaution when we're putting them in there. Alright, so we have the seeds right here. We're gonna see what we can plant. Let's see what we have. I'll film again once we got everything in these rows and these rows planted. Let's go. Alright, so we have some green beans right here. We have 3 varieties here. We're gonna plant them all down this row right here. Sadly, I couldn't find any gourds, so let's see what ends up happening. Alright, so this is really the only peas that we have here. So these are the 3 green bean varieties that I just planted. This is the only pea variety we have. We can see I just planted this whole row right here. I'll get back to you in the next garden tour I do next Monday, see what ends up happening. It'll be the first garden tour of the summer. It'll be special. So let's see what ends up happening. Alright, so this is quite the interesting video. This is probably maybe like 9 to 12 minutes long, hopefully. And I also want to see if I can get these on my computer to see if I can edit these a bit better. But if I have to keep editing on my phone, then oh well. I'll have to go stop at Tractor Supply probably tomorrow when I get out of school, because my school's right by one. I'll be able to pick up some supplies, and I'll just walk across the street to get to it, and then I'll buy some seeds. I'll see what else I have there for other seeds I could pick up. If they don't have any seeds, then that's gonna suck, but I could probably survive. So anyways, this is quite the interesting video. Be sure to click the video on the left side of the screen, which is me transplanting the garden, but if you don't want to see that, you can click the other side of the screen, which is a playlist with all the gardening videos so far this year, starting all the way back at the beginning of March when it was still snowing, going all the way to now, when we're going to see possibly 100 degrees next week. So let's see what ends up happening, and I will catch you guys later. Bye, everyone.